Right, Les, we are back. I am alive. I'm sorry for no video for 2 weeks. Last week when I show UFC, I went to the Paddy Donovan Crocker fight up in Northern Ireland. I'll show videos here. Great weekend from me. I had Crocker, Lopez and Bud all in the same evening. So not a bad one for me. Crocker at 5-1. Do, in hindsight, could have been a robbery in fairness, but on the night I was a bit drunk, didn't really notice. But anyways, we will move ahead. I'm not going to talk too much. Not so UFC. The reason I didn't do a card for that was I basically didn't see any value in 90% of the card. I'm not going to throw a bet stat. I just need to make because I need to make a video. I'm not going to do that. If I'm not backing them, I'm not backing them. And for the Contender Series recently, I fell asleep, but I had everything right besides the women's fight. For the last 2 weeks, I've been everything right. I just didn't make the videos because I've been working like mad. And as I make this one next week, I'm going to be in Amsterdam, so I will try my best to get up UFC 320 and the Contender Series before I leave. But anyways, enough of my shit talking. Let's get down to this week in Perth. I have to be realistic here. My Photoshop is acting like a cunt, so I can't use Photoshop for the minute. So I will do this normally, as we always do, but I will do this as we normally do, but let's get down to the lock of the week. Yes, so this week's lock of the week is sitting right here in front of us. Colby Tennessee. Now, the reason I picked Tennessee, to be honest, is because I believe that he had a very hard UFC debut. The man fought basically the regen of Ilia Topuria, his brother Alexandresk, or basically Alex Topuria is who he fought. Basically the carbon copy. Astounding boxing. Now, one thing I will take from Kobe's fight there is he didn't get dropped, he didn't get finished. He did get dropped, but he didn't get finished. He was able to keep the chin well, battled back in the third, had a good third round to me. I believe that this is going to be, as his name is Slickness, I think that this will be Slickness from Kobe. I believe that Junior Messias, here he was obviously choked out by Cheeto's brother. He gave up his back. He kind of panicked on the ground. He wasn't someone who's comfortable there. I believe Kobe can take him down. He does have extreme power. That's why his nickname is the KO Wizard. But as I said, I think Kobe has a good enough chin to be able to go through sort of this damage, blaze forward, get him down, and maybe another rear naked. I honestly think that Junior Messias would have to take a long time training to kind of get over these clear ground jitters. When he hit the ground there, he panicked. He didn't know what to do, got submitted pretty easily. I could see Kobe doing the exact same thing. I think Kobe by submission could be a great shout, but a plus 140 and basically 5-4 on Irish odds, I will say, and UK odds, and that's what he's going to be, and I think that is the right move. Look, we'll get down to the favourite ACA. This is in a bit of a different format, so I'll just click across to who's here and we'll talk about them. So next we're going to Tom Nolan versus Charlie Campbell, the Cannibal. Now, I'm going very Aussie with this ACA. I won't like to have a favourite ACA. I'm going very Aussie. I believe that's going to be an Aussie night. Oi. I do think that there's a triple. Basically, I think it's going to be a lot of the Aussies winning. They've been given kind of easy fights. This is probably one of the harder fights for an Aussie fighter against Charlie Campbell because he has all the hype. I believe that Tom Nolan is the big power puncher here. He's the clear one with the power discrepancy. Grappling, I think, is very close. Charlie Campbell probably takes the edge. But I believe if these are going to go, as I think this fight's going to go, fight in the side of the cage, Charlie probably thinks he can stand with him. Tom Nolan will definitely spark him out. I think Tom Nolan is someone who, if he used straight shots a lot more, will be a lot more effective. He has good boxing but loops a lot of shots. If he stays with a few straights down the middle, hits the big jab down the middle, he can definitely rock a few chins and definitely knock Charlie Campbell's head back. I do believe that this circles around the cage side pretty easy, probably wild right hook finish for Tom Nolan. I'm going with Big Train to start off the ACA. Tom Nolan is, give me 1 second, minus 160. I think he's 4-6 in Irish odds. Hold on, I should have had this up. 4-6 in Irish odds. So yes, 4-6. Just basically put that next to it. So we will move down to Andrew Petrowski. Now, I've gone through this fight so much over the last week. I actually nearly locked Cam Radiston, I will actually be honest. But in my view, Cam Radiston was wrestled very easily by Terence Finney, I don't know what happened in the brain there. Terence Finney very easily wrestled them, and I can see Andrei Petrowski being able to do the same here. I do think Cam Radisson has good stand-up. He showed on the Contender Series with his finishes, but I do also believe that the man does try the Carlos Ulberg tactic of trying to back foot and try to point jab and try landing leg kicks. If he tries this with someone like Andrei Petrowski, I do think that Andrei Petrowski would just be able to take him down, probably be able to dominate him on the ground. I can see this being a pretty easy dominating win, maybe a submission finish, but I can see Andrei Petrowski just being able to out wrestle Cam Radisson for 3 rounds, take a pretty easy 15, probably a 30-27 in the judging. He is minus 145, basically meaning he's 10-17 in Irish odds. Well, move down to Jack Jenkins. I may have been missing Jack Jenkins, but Jack Jenkins' fight, we will move down to his fight against Ramon Tavares. I have to be honest, I have no idea how Ramon Tavares is even still in the octagon. Like, I mean, the man has only gotten 1 win since getting off the Contender Series. Lost to Davy Grant 9 months ago, no issue on that. Of course, Gabriel Santos submitted Jack Jenkins. He's beaten Herbert Burns. He's lost to Chepe Maskell. Look, Jack Jenkins has fought the way higher competition, if we're going to be honest here. And I think Jack Jenkins is Australia's next big real chance at a talent. I can believe that this is going to be a pretty easy 30-27. I don't see a finish because I think Ramon Tavares has a really, really good chin. He's from Florida after all. I think it's one of those things where you kind of have to just think that he's just going to be able to just piece him apart for 15 minutes. I think the box of Jack Jenkins is way too slick. He'll surely start working on the ground game after the last submission. I do think that he has the better grappling here. I think Tavares hits hard, I do, but I think it's one of these things where Jack Jenkins is the superior boxer and the superior man for this fight. So I'll take Jack Jenkins probably on a 30-27. I don't see a 29-28. And his odds is 4-11 or minus 300. Now we move into the only favourite that I'm going to pick, the only underdog that I'm going to pick. But I have to be realistic. I've absolutely no fucking idea how he's the underdog. Honestly, unless you have like a stroke or heart failure in the octagon, Justin Tafa isn't going to win. He's not bad. Look, I've always said that he's better than his brother, which he is. He has better striking. He's better than Junior. But from watching a lot of Louis Sunderland's videos, he can clearly take a big shot and keep pushing forward. He has good wrestling. He knows what to do in top mount. All things Tafa lacks. I like Justin Tafa. I do. But I think both the Tafa brothers struggle from the same thing of they're just kickboxers. There's nothing else about them. It's worked for Pereira because he is some of the biggest knockout power we've ever seen. He has fucking stone hands. But in Junior Tafa's, or Justin and Junior Tafa's case, I'll put them together, they have big power but nothing else. Justin's the same as Junior. If he hits his back, he doesn't try to get up, he just sits there. Look, he lost to Carl Williams because of this, and then obviously, Thailand Teixeira knocked him out because, Thailand Teixeira was the top mount. I just believe that Justin Tafa's going to come in here, just try to land a big shot, never really set anything up. Sutterfield probably catches him in round 1 and finishes him, if we're going to be honest here. I'll take him at, as you could see, nearly evens. I have him at evens. He's fighting out of Scotland. He is from the UK. I think this is probably the smartest thing to do. And we'll get down to the underdogs. So we'll start with Lobotomy over here, let's call her that. Lobotomy versus Alexandria Terranera, who came off the Contender Series, and I know that she's won all of her recent fights, but if we're going to be realistic, it's only submitting Molly McCann, who is now in boxing, who I actually seen fight in the weekend and missed most of her fight because we went out to go get a drink, didn't think the lines would be as long as they were. Missed most of it, but have seen that leg kick and her finish. I honestly, I don't know what that was. But if we're going to be realistic here, she, to me, Lobotomy here, has beaten some top level talent. Like, I mean, Denise Gomes, Bruna Bazil, Alicia Nunes, even Elise Reed. I think it's way higher competition. I think that she's actually a lot more of a complete Indonesian or Thai fighter than I thought. I really thought she was just going to be a Thai kickboxer, but she actually has really, really good grappling, knows how to hold down a woman, knows how to do it. I will pick her at 2-1 because I just believe that the UFC experience here will do a massive amount of good for Lobotomy here. First fight of the night, 2-1, no bother. Now, this fight is probably one that people are looking at, but I have to be honest here, I'm picking Neil Magny 3-1. Fuck it, Neil Magny, the crafty vet. I know he didn't look brilliant in the lock that I put him in against Zalicio dos Santos. I know he didn't look brilliant, but this is very much a Neil Magny winning fight, isn't it, on paper, if you think about it. Jake Matthews is on a 3-fight winning streak against Phil Rowe, Fabricio Pilardo and Chidi with a great finish. But I can see Jake still maybe blowing the load in the first round with cardio issues that he's always kind of had. It's not one of these things where I think that he's fixed this. And if you have cardio issues against someone who's even 39 like Neil Magny, you will struggle. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Neil Magny's able to switch this over, land a rear naked or something like that, because Jake Matthews still makes mistakes on the ground. He still gives up his back. He still has these sort of panic moments when he's tired. He still makes very bad mistakes. I'd be nervous for Magny for 5 minutes here, but then I'd start to kind of say this could be a level playing field. I think Magny will lose the leg kick to neutralise a lot of his offence. I think Magny is actually the one to be able to just basically be able to outwork like a crafty vet would. He's just going to be able to work him for 15 minutes. I could see it 29-28. Decision, now I'm playing a dangerous game, it being in Australia. You never know what some of these decisions could be. But a Neil Magny 3-1, I kind of have to take that, and I'm not going to argue it. But now down to the last fight, as you've obviously seen who it is. We're going with the Devastator, Dominic Reyes at 2-1. I think Reyes is back. Being honest here, I think the Reyes is 100% back. I think that he beats Carlos Ulberg, not easily obviously, but I do believe that Carlos Ulberg's style of just backtracking and trying to land leg kicks and point fighting probably won't work against someone like Dominic Reyes, because I believe that Dominic Reyes will be able to cut it off with heavy leg kicks. Going to say this is going to be like the Johnny Walker fight, where I could see a lot of heavy leg kicks utilised, a lot of strikes. I still think Dominic Reyes has that power in his hands to make him a very scary fighter. There's not going to be much grappling in this. I still think Reyes has the grappling advantage. I don't see much grappling in this. I see two lads standing toe-to-toe. Well, okay, not toe-to-toe, because Carlos Ulberg's probably going to start throwing leg kicks around the way, but most of the time it's going to be Dominic Reyes trying to hunt them down. They have, obviously, he's on a 5-fight winning streak. He's robbed Jan Blachowicz. I don't care what people say, that was a robbery. His Vuk Denusdemir fight was a snore. He did beat Manafield, which is a great win, and then he submitted Do Hoon Jung, and forget about that. And then obviously he beat Nutila Krolov. He's taken out Anthony Smith. Now look, I will say, and I know a lot of people say, oh, but why Reyes? Look, Anthony Smith was still ranked top 15 in light heavyweight. You don't need to even be remotely good inside this division to get ranked. And then he beat Dustin Jacob. All finishes, all him as the underdog in most of these fights. I have to pick the American underdog, the Devastator. I think that Dominic Reyes comes out here, sparks him out. Well, not sparks him out, sorry. I do think that actually, wait, no, actually, you know what? No, sorry, I just remember this is a 5-round fight. I actually believe that Dominic Reyes comes out here and sparks him. I think Dominic Reyes takes him out in round 2 or 3. I do believe that Dominic Reyes is going to do this, and that's the way we're going to do it. So if you were decided to use this, if you decided to use Bet365, which I do for most of these bets, I think they're most universally agreed. Andrew Petresky, Tom Nolan, Jack Jenkins, and Louis Sutherfield, you get back just over 6-1 odds, 10 on, 76 back with a £4 boost. That ain't too bad, and that's the way we're going to play it. But anyways, if you did enjoy the video, please hit the like button or hit the subscribe button. I am back. I am still alive. I'm not dead. I am back. I just taken a bit of time away. I've been working a bit too mad, but I will have a few videos coming up. I will do a full breakdown of this card a bit later on this evening, and I will do the contender series on next week and everything else before that. But anyways, everything I've said, I'll see you next one.